All right, everybody, welcome to another installment of ThreeKingsBoxing.com's broadcast. This one will be in the form of an interview. Of course, it's your boy EJ2K Williams. I'm sitting down with my man Jeff Mayweather, the former junior lightweight, and junior welterweight contender. How you doing today, boss?
I'm good. So?
I'm doing good, man. I appreciate you sitting down with me. We're going to talk boxing, man. We're going to get it in. First question, man, the trending topic. How do you feel about Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder not going down? And if you want to make a pick, man, you can. But I'm curious about how you feel about that whole situation.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's bad for boxing, I think, but I do think that, Wilder, pretty much did, put forth, his best foot forward to try to make the fight happen. But I think what it is that with the kind of money that Joshua was making, before he take that kind of risk, he want to continue to keep pocketing more and more paydays. That's what I think. I don't necessarily know for sure, but that's what it seems like to me. I mean, I'm making, 30 million, other guys making, 1 million. Right. So that makes a huge, huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, apparently Wilder was taking 15 million just straight off the top with no proceeds, to back that, no pay-per-view, none of that. And Shelly Finkel said he was a little upset with that, but Deontay Wilder wanted the fight so damn bad it didn't matter to him. You know what I'm saying? He said, right. Hey, you can give me the smallest purse, I still want that fight. I want to be undisputed champion. And
right.
I feel like that's one of the things that's lost in the sport of boxing today, man. You got a lot of these young kids out there that they want to make the money first and not take the challenges first in order to get that money on the back end. But Deontay Wilder, guys like Jared Hurd, guys like Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, they don't have that kind of mindset. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I think Wilder's mindset is actually good for boxing. But one thing I want to propose to you, and I said this a lot to my viewers, I have a separate channel that's separate from my actual business. And on that channel, I told a lot of my viewers, I said, hey, man, Andre Rodbinsky came out, he's the promoter for Alexander Povetkin. He came out back in April before all of this even went down and said, hey, man, regardless of what y'all think is going to happen, Joshua will be fighting my fighter next. And then, of course, there's rumors that Deontay Wilder was already talking to Dominic Breazeale. I mean, do you feed into that? Do you believe that Andre Rodbinsky pretty much had an epiphany beforehand that all of us didn't really know, and he tried to drop a gem on us?
I mean, don't get me wrong, that's possible because, a lot of things happen behind closed doors that nobody knows.
Yeah.
And, and don't get me wrong, the one thing about boxing is this, is that fights sometimes don't get made until, the demand actually makes them happen.
Absolutely.
And, and right now, maybe they feel that, that right now, that the time, this isn't right now for that fight to happen. Of course, Eddie Hearn, they pretty much control what's going to happen with this fight. Deontay just don't have that. He don't have that kind of backing behind him. He don't have that kind of money behind him. So, of course, Joshua is in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
And as long as he's in the driver's seat, he can keep him waiting for as long as he wants.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. That's one of the things I tell a lot of people. Of course, you got a lot of hardcore fans on both sides, but I like to tell people, like, hey, man, this is business. You know what I'm saying? This doesn't have anything about.
First.
Yeah, exactly. It ain't got shit to do with your emotions or how you feel. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, Anthony Joshua is the top dog right now. He's got more belts than Deontay Wilder has, and he has more of the popularity. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, most important, like I said, you're talking about the difference in 1 million and 30 million.
Yeah.
It's a big difference.
Yeah.
So, basically, that right there, that tells the story right there. If in all honesty, me myself, I can smoke of Deontay's ass all I want to make him think that he's gonna get the fight, but still not give him the fight because
Right.
I don't need him.
Right.
He really does. It's unfortunate. And that's one thing about boxing is that there's organizations that says you don't have to fight this guy, and you don't have to fight this guy because y'all not in the same. Y'all not even in the same organization.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not in the same organization, I don't have to fight you. You can bark, you can cry, you can do whatever you want to, but I still ain't got to fight you.
I agree.
And that's the one thing. And that's the one thing about the business side that people don't see. They don't realize that Joshua is going to continue to milk those big paydays for as long as he can before he put his title in jeopardy.
And that's smart.
Because no, don't get me wrong, and that's great business.
Yeah.
And of course everybody that that's a fan think that you're supposed to fight everybody. You can't fight everybody.
Yeah.
And plus the thing is that, don't get me wrong, and it's a fight that's out there. It's a fight that should be made, but still, boxing is still a business, and that's the side that most people don't realize. Anything in life is a business, and basically, the one thing that you're going to do is you're going to be smart before you make a business decision. It's almost like being an ignorant person that just screams out anything before they think, before they open their mouth. And that's basically, in this situation is no different. I mean, these guys are doing what they're doing, and it's calculated. It's not. It won't Deontay to continue to run his mouth to make him seem like he's scared and this and that, but they're not. They know that one time. They know that him is a risk, and that's the fight that everybody wants. And by the time they want it, and it's gonna happen. I mean, this guy gonna make so much money, it's ridiculous. So it ain't gonna make no difference if he win or lose. And plus, he already got a rematch clause.
Yeah, exactly. Good point.
So I mean, and like I said, that's the business side of boxing that people don't know. And everybody always want, particular fighters to fight. Well, why you ain't fighting this guy? Why you ain't fighting that guy? I'm not fighting that guy because, first of all, I don't need that guy. And this guy over there might really beat me. So I'm not going to fight him, but I'm going to sell wolf tickets to y'all for a long time until y'all make the fight happen where it's enough money for me to take that risk, and then I'll say, yes, I'm going to take that fight. I'm going to take that fight now because I probably got an extra $10 million added to my purse, or whatever the case may be. Whatever it entails, that's how fights get made. But like I said, the business side of boxing is this: is two guys that are barking at one another long before the fight is ever going to happen, and basically, all that does is makes the fans get behind it bigger and bigger. And once the fans get behind it to the point where you almost can't avoid making the fight happen, and so that's what happens. And that's the business side that just, basically, people that are on the inside of boxing knows that, and then there's other people that are just the typical fan. All they want to see is a fight.
Exactly.
And they just think that if a guy don't fight a guy, automatically he's scared. But it's not. It's a business.
Hey, it's funny you say that. Your very last point, once a fight gets too big, it gets to the point where they can't basically get around making that fight. That leads me into my next fight, Canelo Golovkin. That's exactly how that shit went down the first time and in the rematch. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Yeah.
And I mean, and don't get me wrong, and also Canelo's side realized that, wait a second, we can't play this holdout game too long because the guy is old, and when we do beat him, or if we do beat him, we don't want to be able to say that we beat a guy that because he was too old.
Yeah.
Or like I said, I mean, and that's the one side of that. Let Golovkin mess around and get knocked off by anybody. Because one thing about age is you can't do nothing about it. I mean, you walk in the ring one day and age hit you, you gonna get your ass whooped, and you're gonna get your ass whooped by somebody that probably ain't better than you.
Word up.
But the one thing about age is this: age becomes your enemy. It becomes your enemy because the same thing that you used to do to somebody, when you were young, now they're doing the same thing to you.
Exactly.
You can't do nothing about it. And that's and that's basically, and that's the one thing I think that Canelo was trying to avoid. I mean, so like you said, I mean that fight, they barked at each other for 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
But once Canelo started, Canelo got to a point where now he's comfortable. He's comfortable with that fight. Nah, we'll take that fight. Let's take that fight now. He's gotten now he's 2 years older. And I mean, and realistically, he hasn't fought anybody that really was a threat. And then the fight with Danny Jacobs could have went either way. And
right.
So that shows how, and then now you're seeing that he's not the beast that everybody thinks he is. So why not me? Why shouldn't I take a chance now?
Yes, absolutely.
And so and that's the business side of it. And that's why right now, Canelo's still the draw in boxing.
Man, and that's what I've been trying to tell cats. A lot of people were, I went out there and told cats, I said, look, man, no matter what has happened with the clenbuterol testing, the tainted meat, all that bullshit that Canelo's involved in, at the end of the day, he is still one of the biggest draws in boxing, and Golovkin is still going to have to take a back seat to that, no matter what. So,
definitely.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You got it, boss. You got it.
No. I was just agreeing with you that you're 100% right.
Yeah. And I mean, I was like, he's asking for 50-50, and of course, you got your hardcore fans. F Canelo and F and cheater, all of that, right? And I'm like, look, man, it doesn't matter how you feel. Golovkin is not getting 50% because he doesn't put as many asses in the seats as Canelo does. Canelo fought what? Alfredo Angulo on pay-per-view, Liam Smith on pay-per-view, and did twice as many numbers as Golovkin did on pay-per-view with David Lemieux, who's a better fighter than both those guys, in my opinion, at the time that Canelo fought them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean,
don't get me wrong. He after Phil retired, he became the face of boxing.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. And absolutely. I mean, and basically, he was really, other than Floyd, Canelo was the only other person that can do a pay-per-view event.
He's the only one.
Golovkin ain't never done no. He never done no pay-per-view.
He tried with Lemieux.
Never did pay-per-view.
Lemieux.
A lot of these guys, but I'm just saying. But these guys can't do no numbers with with pay-per-view. So yeah. I mean, basically, Golovkin needs Canelo. Canelo don't need him.
Exactly. Thank you very much, man. See, that's what I'm talking about. Bro, I've been trying. You understand, man. I mean, you do understand. You in this shit, I've been trying to tell these cats, man.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's funny because I have a real good friend of mine, and also my business partner. And basically, what he always says is boxing is as a sport.
Yeah. And
he would love to hear me say that. But I'm not. I hope he ain't.
Nah, you can't concede to that, man. Nah, we can't do that.
But I mean, don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, those very words are true.
Yeah. They're
true in every sense of the word. And basically, but like I said, when you're a fan and all you do is tune in to watch fights, never even take the time to realize and even stop and think that it's still business. These guys, even if, because everybody, first of all, the one thing that people, get mixed up is the fact that they think that all guys that are boxers are not smart, or they're not intelligent, or they don't have smart people around them. But in order for boxing to have been one of the, the highest grossing sports in, for all these years, and with all the so-called black eyes, this and that, and so on and so forth. And I mean, what other sport? Tell me another sport where you can make, millions and millions of dollars for one night of work.
Yeah, man.
It's very, very few,
Yeah.
if any more. But the thing is this, is that, and so, you, like I said, you may think because a person chose to, make boxing as their life or their lifestyle, that automatically they're doing that because they came from poverty. That ain't true. That's not true in every sense, but sometimes it is true. But the one thing about it is that now boxers are becoming smarter businessmen.
Yes, they are.
Now, and they're starting to realize that, this is a business, and now I have to treat it. I have to treat it that way. And while I'm hot, I'm have to maximize my earnings. And so basically with that, I mean, I hate to say it, like I said, I mean, I didn't really want to bring my nephew name up at all, but unfortunately, he did. He changed the game. He changed the game to the point where now everybody's looking for Floyd Mayweather paydays. That ain't gonna happen.
That's the problem. That's one of the problems.
Don't get me wrong, and that is a problem. That is a problem. But like I said, I mean, the one thing about it is that still, I mean, if you got a blueprint, you got to use it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's put out there. It's out there now. So, why not? If I'm the hottest commodity in boxing, pay me.
Oh yeah.
Pay me. People want to see me. Pay me.
Oh yeah, I
like
agree with that.
On the flip side, when you come to, like I said, when it comes to Canelo and Triple G, basically, Triple G really has no following. I mean, Triple G would take that fight if they say he's getting 40%. He's still gonna take that fight.
He still would have took
it. It's the biggest pay of his life, and he ain't gonna walk away. He ain't gonna walk away from that. I mean, like I said, he's what, 36 years old now?
Yep.
Something like that. I mean, so basically, and like I said, he never knows when his age is going to betray him.
Right.
And so I mean, he can't walk away from a payday of, $6 million, $7 million, or $5 million, or whatever it is. He can't walk away from that because these other guys that Triple G has fought, nobody even knows him.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one thing I try to tell these cats, man. It's like, Triple G, regardless of how many casual fans he may have, they don't pay for his pay-per-views. That's number one. Or at least they didn't pay for his pay-per-view. Number two, he still lacks that career-defining legacy win.
Right.
And Canelo is that guy for him. And Tom Loeffler knew, like, the whole time they were negotiating, Oscar De La Hoya tried to give him 40%. Tom Loeffler was like, yeah, I was getting messages from Tom Loeffler saying, yeah, man, we good. I mean, we getting ready to sign this deal. And the next thing you know, Golovkin's like, no deal. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, for him, he ended up getting 45% by holding out. That's good for him. But at the end of the day, like you say, if Oscar De La Hoya would have really walked away from that fight and said, nah, fuck that, we done, I think Golovkin would have went back to 40%. He would have had to have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, still, the one thing is this. At the end of the day, everybody's fighting for a check.
Yep.
And, I mean, for you to walk away just on principle, I mean, wow, that's nice. That's noble. And that's nice for the fans, but that ain't shit for your family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it's really about. Is, the people that you got to take care of, the people that, when you go home, if you have a wife and kids, I don't know, everybody doesn't, but I'm saying if you do, I mean, you're doing them a disservice.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. Well, this is an excellent conversation, man. I didn't want to hold you too long. You know what I'm saying? But hey, my interviews go like this, man. I've interviewed plenty of guys, and we get to talking, man. I remember one time I was talking to Derrick James and Andre Rozier, and both those guys each. I had an hour and a half interview with both them guys that was supposed to only last like 20 minutes. So, you know, they go like this, man. So I would love to have you on the show again for another interview, because there's some things I definitely want to ask you, like questions about your favorite prospects right now, and you know, the mindset of some of these younger fighters. I definitely want to dive a little bit more in that. But you know, we could leave that for another time, man. I'll keep in touch with you, and hopefully I can get you back on here, man. I appreciate you.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
All right, Jeff. Have a good day, brother.
All right. You too. Bye.